So in this video, there's not a lot of new ideas, like huge new ideas. We're just looking at some trickier ways of arranging triangles, and also going to be looking at consequences of this if you have to add or subtract angles. We've seen ones where we have to add or subtract sides, but dealing with angles is trickier to visualize. So let's look at this example. So I have angle ZWX. ZWX is congruent to angle YXW. YXW. So those angles are the same. I'll put one tick mark on those. And then I have angle ZWY. ZWY, so that's this angle. It's congruent to angle YXZ. YXZ. That's this angle. And I'm asked to prove that YX is congruent to ZW. So there's a couple of pairs of triangles here that could possibly be congruent. One pair is, we have these what I call butterfly triangles. This one here and then this one here. Those are not likely going to be helpful because these two sides go all the way across both of those triangles. What we're trying to prove traverses both those triangles. And also, as just a hint, there's no label on this point, and it would be peculiar to not label this point if we somehow had to use it. The other pair are these overlapping triangles. The triangle that goes YWX and then goes YZX. When you have overlapping triangles, I always color them. Those triangles will, so I'm going to use my colored pencils here. Here I have this greenish gray. If you have a highlighter, that's the easiest way to do this. And then I have this fuchsia purple color here. So I've colored the two triangles separately. This will help them pop out so I can see. Actually, that's really hard to see in the video. It's not very easy to see on paper. I should get some highlighters. But it'll help me to see the two triangles and the tick mark patterns on them. So, in addition, what I do is I color the tick marks, this color that matches the triangle. I'll come back to that in a second. The first thing, however, I want to address is that all we have is congruent angles here. We don't have any congruent sides. And that presents a problem because all of our congruence conditions involve having a pair of sides one way or the other, ASA or SAS or so on. So I'm going to need a pair of congruent sides. And you can see now that we've colored it, these two triangles here, they have this WX, which is a side of both of them. WX is a side of the purple one, and WX is also a side of the green one. So I'm going to tick mark it with sort of a dual tick mark, like that. That's a reminder, that's a side of the pink and a side of the green triangle, and so I can use that as my congruent sides. So it looks like I might have the ASA pattern here, but there's a subtlety. This first pair of tick marks, this tick mark here is green. And the reason it's green is because this goes from a green side to a green side of the triangle. And its partner over here is pink. It goes from a side of the pink triangle to a side of the pink triangle. So there's that. So now I have angle side. And then in the pink triangle I have angle side. So you might say, oh, I need ASA, and here's my other pair of angles. Here's the subtlety, and here's where we get to this adding and subtracting angles idea. The subtlety is if I look at this tick mark here, this is the pink triangle, this goes pink to green, and this one over here goes green to pink. This is not an angle, nor is this of either of our two triangles. It's too small. It's not an angle of it's completely outside. Let's look at this one right here. It's completely outside the green triangle. So it's not an angle of the green triangle, and it's too small to be an angle of the pink triangle. If I want it to be an angle of the pink triangle, I'd have to go from here to here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add these two angles in the same fashion in which we added sides a couple of lessons ago. So I have an arc that goes from here to there that I'll get by adding these two, and that is a pink angle. It goes pink to pink. On the other side, I'll have an arc that goes green to green, by adding these two. And so now this will give me angle, side, angle in the green triangle, and it will give me angle, side, angle in the pink triangle. So let's look how we write up this proof. Excuse me. So the triangles I'm going to prove congruent are triangle, the green one is going to go W at one tick mark along to X and then up to Z. That's the green triangle. And if I want to do things in the same order in the pink triangle, I started here at the one tick mark angle in the green. I'm going to start at the one tick mark angle in the pink. So I'm going to go X along to W and then over to Y. There's my green triangle, there's my pink triangle. This is going to be my angle, side, angle. One pair of angles is this little tick mark one here. That's a green angle. And over here it's pink partner. So that's angle, that's this first pair here. Angle ZWX is congruent to angle YXW. That's a given. That's this small pair, green and pink. The pair of sides, of course, is this common side. Same segment. And then we're going to do the adding angles argument over here. It's going to actually move it over here so I have a little bit more space. In order to get this big pink angle and to get this big green angle, I need to add this pair and this pair. So it's going to look like what we did when we were adding segments. I'm going to take this angle ZWX. That's this angle. I'm going to add to it that angle. That is angle ZWY. When I combine these two, I get this larger angle, which is a pink angle. It's it's YWX. On the other side, I have YXW, that little angle there. And then I have this one here next to it, angle YXZ. And when I combine these two angles here, I get this larger green tick mark, and that's angle WXZ. So we're adding these two angles above, and remember that this is only a legitimate argument if I can have reasons for both of these statements. But these are, of course, these are both given. So that completes my triangle congruence. And then remember, I'm trying to prove that YX and ZW are the same. Well, there's YX, there's ZW. Those are corresponding sides. That's a green side, and that's the corresponding pink side. So I have YX congruent to ZW because they are corresponding sides of the two congruent triangles above.